Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Kądzielska, and you are watching Poland Daily Culture in the times of quarantine. Artists usually don't know a lot about law. Usually, they make silly mistakes which could be easily avoided. With me is Edmund Falandysz, a lawyer and an attorney. Sir, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for the invitation. I hope I could help.
I do hope as well that you will help us to resolve some artistic problems which are in the field of law. It's not easy to be an artist, and when you start to quarrel with your family about rights to your artistic projects, it's even worse. Right now, we are facing a very popular case about one of the greatest Polish singers, which has huge problems when it comes to rights to her music and to her albums. Sir, you are a person who is representing this artist. If you could make us more familiar with this case and with what kind of problems is this person facing, how could he or her avoid it in the other place? Like, what would be the resolution not to face such kind of problems in other situations?
Well, this situation is very individual, and the artist and her husband, they were working together for a long time. She trusted him. They are now getting divorced. It's not very important right now why they're getting divorced, but what happened was that her husband, during those years, he signed documents so that he's the one who has rights to all the music, all the albums that they produced. They were recording tracks. They were producing albums, but the artist, she didn't think that it is important or to check the agreements to see what her husband is doing. But the situation turned out that she didn't get actually any remuneration for it. Her husband took it, and now in a situation after so many years, when it turns out that they're getting divorced and they're trying to divide their assets, he said that those rights are his, and now he's just gonna cancel all the agreements, and that's what the situation. That's the situation. It's very hard for the artist because it's the person who she loved for a very long time, and after so many years, he left her with such problems, and even claiming the rights to her music, right?
So she was recording her music and writing the lyrics or using songs which she created, and even though she's an author and like rights to the project are her, in fact, because she's the one who created it, he claims to stop it, and he claims to get all the royalties from them as well. Is it? Do I understand it correctly?
It's a little bit more complex. If you're producing the album, there are all the rights to the author of the text. There's also the person who's singing. There's a person. There are people in the band, and if you're organizing it and you're producing the album and then you're paying for it, then you have the producer's rights. And the thing is that the husband thinks that he has the producer's right, but a lot of times it was the artist herself that paid for all of the expenses. So it's her producer's rights, and a lot of times they're both producers' rights. We're talking about not the individual author's intellectual property rights, but we're talking about producers' rights. And in this situation, if you have a dispute. If you have a person who's saying, hey, those claims are mine, and the artist saying, no, those rights are mine, then it's a very tough situation to produce such album, because no one will be, the companies will just wait for the court's decisions or whatever agreement they will have regarding the albums in order to reproduce it, to show it on market.
And how usually courts see such cases, and how do they resolve such problems? Do they stand more often on the side of an artist or on the side of the producer?
It's a very hard question, but I believe that in this case, the court will see how badly the husband acted, how he did it. He did it not. It wasn't just the act of one time. He was doing it for a long period of time. He was preparing for it. So this should be a very strong argument in court, and I'm sure the court will see it and will give the justice, of course.
And what would you advise in order to avoid such situations for other artists? Is it like they have to be very strict even to their closest person, so their spouse, and check all the agreements and try to be cautious?
This is very hard. This situation is, it was based on trust, and unfortunately the person, you could say it, cheated on her, not only financially, but anyway, yes, of course, the most important thing is to have the agreements on paper and to see who's a party. If it's you, or if it's your, in this case, husband or a manager or whatever other company, who's getting the rights. And formally, he produced documents that he supposedly is a producer or the owner of the rights, but in fact, it was not the company or not him who was paying for those actions. So he didn't get those producers' rights. So if you're thinking about what to do in other situations, you need to have the agreement, and you need to have it. It's better to use a lawyer's help in this situation, because this is for the artist the most important thing. The intellectual property rights, their voice, it's their job, so it's very important.
Thank you very much for explaining this case to us, but it all seems a little bit scary, to be honest. So to all of you who are artists, make sure that your agreements are well made and well prepared, and trust yourself the most, and maybe the lawyer as well. But it seems that it's a tough world, and some precautions need to be accepted, even though it's very, very hard to say aloud. Thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.